Channel 11 News starts with severe weather Team 11 coverage.
Good afternoon, everyone. We told you it was coming. Storm tracker Doppler 11 radar tracking a major winter storm. You can see widespread snow, and this is just the start of it. A live look from Washington County. You can see a good coating on the roads there right now, and we've been watching some cars slipping and sliding around. I did a little bit of that myself on the way in. And this is a look a short time ago from Westmoreland County, where they could see upwards of 8 inches of snow or more. Thanks for joining us. I'm Peggy Finnegan. So this is a tricky storm system. We could see more snow depending on where you live, and the heaviest snow is expected right at rush hour. Bad timing. We are in 11 alert with closings running at the bottom of your screen. We have a team of reporters out on the roads, but first let's go to Pittsburgh's chief meteorologist, Stephen Cropper.
Hey, Peggy, you hit the nail on the head there. It's going to continue through the afternoon, and depending on your location, that will determine how much snow you'll end up shoveling. What's happened this morning is it rolled in about an hour ahead of schedule. You know, it's weather. It's going to do what it wants to do, but we have already seen pretty much coverage across most of the area. Interestingly enough, the lighter snow bands are now starting to mix in. So we have a wave where you'll pick up some steadier snow as they're getting down around Washington, where Joe Arena is, and so the snow is a little steadier there, then it breaks and you get some lighter snowfall. So off and on through the day, this is going to be the trend, but as we head through the afternoon tonight, we will see an uptick in some of the steadier bands. Take a look at this graphic, the timeline across the bottom. During the afternoon and evening, I still see the opportunity for some more moderate snowfall. So with the snow already on the ground, that's when I anticipate some of the worst travel conditions. I'll be back in just a couple of minutes along with meteorologist Jessica Faith, who's been here all morning tracking this system. We'll drill down and show you some snowfall forecasts for your city.
Well, the snow pushed up from West Virginia, hitting Washington County early, and as Stephen said, that's where Channel 11's Joe Arena joins us. And Joe, you've seen some cars, I understand, just spinning out of control.
Yeah, that's right, Peggy. When we actually came into town, we drove right into an accident that we saw, likely caused by the snow. Here on South Main Street, you can take a look. Cars are moving steady, but just a few minutes ago, for instance, things got slow. Wheels were spinning. Traction is not an easy thing to come by right now. And as I said, we've already passed one accident. You're looking at South Main here, and this probably tells you that the side streets are probably covered in a little bit more snow. We have seen a handful of snow plows out here trying to stay ahead of the weather coming in. Stephen Cropper, as you know, has been telling us for the last few days. He told me this morning things are going to become more intense tonight between 5 and 9 o'clock here in Washington and Fayette. A good idea right now is probably to download our Severe Weather Team 11 app, because I'll tell you right now, it's got that live radar option on it, so you can track the snow moving in real time, and it's a good thing to have, of course, on a day like this. We also ran into a few schools or daycare centers looking like they were letting kids out early. We've heard that that's happening in Pittsburgh. So as Stephen mentioned last night, good day to hit this, hit the hill and go sledding. Obviously not a good day if you have to be driving in this front wheel drive, whatever kind of drive you have. We've noticed a lot of cars slipping. And just really quick, take a look at the sidewalk right here. On a hill like this, as you can see, there's not much, there hasn't been much treatment yet because it's still early in the day, but you walk over something like this manhole hatch here that leads probably to the basement of this business. That's just dangerous. So be careful when you're walking or driving out there, and we'll obviously keep you posted throughout the day. Peggy, back to you.
All right, good advice. Thanks, Joe. And as Stephen mentioned, the further east you go, the more snow you'll see. So we sent Channel 11's Serafina James to Westmoreland County. She joins us live. I hope you brought your boots, Serafina.
Oh, Peggy, I did, because as you can see, the snow is definitely sticking here in Westmoreland County. Now, I did speak to the county's PennDOT not too long ago. They told me they were more than prepared for this winter weather event. They said they had over 60 trucks go out and pre-treat the roads. They also had enough salt. As for now, they say they have crews on standby, ready for when things really ramp up. Now, across from the PennDOT garage, you'll find Hepler's Hardware. They've been doing another form of prep work themselves. They tell me they ordered extra salt and extra shovels, all of which has been flying off the shelves throughout the day.
We were hit at 8 o'clock this morning and already had a half a pallet of rock salt loaded up and going on to some people's pickup trucks and everything else.
I just came in to get some salt because we're supposed to get all the snow. And my husband said, go down to Hepler's and get me some salt. So that's what I did.
So when I was at Hepler's, they did receive an extra shipment of salt, which is good news. They also told me you want to keep in mind there are two kinds of salt. There's rock salt and then there's calcium chloride. They say calcium chloride works better when temperatures get really low and dip below freezing. They say there's also a special kind of salt you can get for your pet that will protect their paws. Just a few tips to keep in mind if you're heading out and doing some prep work yourself throughout the day. For now, we're live in Westmoreland County. Serafina James, Channel 11 News.
Thanks, Serafina. And the city of Pittsburgh and Allegheny County road crews got a big head start on the road, so they are ready for when the snow really starts to pick up this afternoon. Channel 11's Alyssa Raymond now continues our Team 11 coverage with what you can do to stay safe.
According to AAA, more than 2,000 people die every single year because of bad weather. It's also a factor in nearly 500,000 crashes. So the safest option, obviously, is to just stay home during a winter storm. But if you just have to go out, AAA suggests checking your tires, replacing windshield wipers that are worn. Leave early, drive slowly, and give some space between you and the car in front of you.
In the wintertime, following somebody too close and speeding can be absolutely deadly, especially when you have slick roads, icy roads, things of that nature.
Salt trucks are already out and about. The city of Pittsburgh plans to keep about 70 trucks on the roads until 7 Thursday morning and expects to use about a third of its salt supply. Allegheny County says 26 salt trucks will be working on the county roads. And a request from all of these DPW crews, don't crowd the plow. They're just out trying to do their job to keep all of us safe. Tonight at 5, the problem AAA gets the most amount of calls about and what you could do today so you're not one of those people making that call for help. Reporting along 279, Alyssa Raymond, Channel 11 News.
And the snow is going to start to pick up in Pittsburgh at the worst possible time, right during rush hour, and restrictions will go into place on the highways. Let's go to Channel 11's traffic expert Tricia Pittman with what to expect. Tricia?
Well, we are getting reports of several accidents already, and we're going to talk about what to expect over the next several hours. So we do have an accident on Route 380 at Beaver Run Road in Washington Township, Westmoreland County, and then also 51 at the area of Pleasant Hills Boulevard and Pleasant Hills, seeing just a little bit of a delay there in both directions. In addition to that, accident on the Parkway East. I know it's really hard to see vehicles off to the side of the road. You can barely make out that box truck. And that accident is Parkway East at Penn Hills coming in the inbound direction. As Peggy mentioned, later on today, some advisories go into place with restricted speed limits on the interstates, 45 miles per hour on the Pennsylvania Turnpike and I-80 to the middle and eastern parts of the state. This also will restrict truck traffic on those roads, and that could lead to some delays in packages being delivered from the eastern side of the state, New Jersey and New York. You can see the snow already starting to build here on the ramps to the Liberty Bridge. Traffic along the Pennsylvania Turnpike out in Somerset County. Main line has been treated, but you can see those overpasses, again, seeing a little bit of snow cover. So overpasses, on and off ramps, going to see some snow cover and could see some icy conditions. We're going to talk about what to do if you should hit a patch of ice coming up a little bit later on.
All right, thanks, Tricia. And I know you're going to be keeping a close watch on the changing conditions throughout the newscast. If you haven't already, now is a good time to download the WPXI News app. You can get alerts that are specific to your neighborhood as this weather system changes. And you can also show us what it looks like out your window by sharing photos in the app. Just click on Share with Us. Pennsylvania will take the hardest hit from this storm. Parts of our state could see upwards of 1.5 feet of snow. State leaders say the snow will not stop COVID vaccines from getting to hospitals. The State Emergency Management Agency has extra crews on standby, and the National Guard has been briefed, but the state still has a contingency plan.
They have the ability to be able to hold the shipment if it's unsafe to be able to travel. However, we have the ability to be able to also, at the Commonwealth Response Coordination Center, route them the best way to be able to get to their destination.
At least 7 big vaccine deliveries are scheduled for today across the state, and there are even more tomorrow. And breaking news, more than 1,000 new COVID cases in Allegheny County again. The health department is reporting 1,074 new cases since yesterday, 13 additional deaths. 7 of those deaths were associated with long-term care facilities. Allegheny County leaders are set to hold their weekly COVID update this afternoon. You can look for any new developments starting at 5 on Channel 11 News. Pennsylvania has surpassed 500,000 COVID cases, and several local hospitals say they're just running low on room. A new study shows the average hospital in Allegheny County is operating at 85% capacity. However, UPMC East in Monroeville and St. Clair Hospital in Pittsburgh are at 100% capacity, even higher. UPMC says, though, it can handle this.
I actually do not believe that we'll have any difficulty providing the care. That's not to say it won't be a challenge. It's not to say that we don't all have a role in this.
A spokeswoman told a spokeswoman at AHN told Channel 11 News that they have a capacity of 300 ICU beds in their system, which can be doubled if needed. December is quickly becoming the worst month of the pandemic in Westmoreland County. There have now been more than 5,500 cases and 100 deaths reported so far this month. That's more than a third of the county's totals since the pandemic began. And Westmoreland County Commissioner Gina Cirilli has tested positive for the virus. She's the 3rd commissioner there now to get COVID.
Snow started, and I'll show you coming up some new timing on when the snow will end. Plus, meteorologist Jessica Faith will drill down on the forecast for your neighborhood.
The Christmas tree at Point State Park has been a Pittsburgh tradition for years, but this year could be the last year. One man's fight to save the tree. And no indoor dining at restaurants until after New Year's Day. Why one group says shutting down dining won't stop the spread of COVID. We're back with a live look at Storm Tracker Doppler 11 radar, a major winter storm. It's now churning through our area, so a very busy day, as you can imagine, for Severe Weather Team 11. Pittsburgh's Chief Meteorologist Stephen Cropper is busy updating his forecast to give you timing on when the steadiest snow is going to hit us. He's going to join us in just a few minutes with that new information. In other news, a restaurant group wants Governor Tom Wolf to bring back scenes like this. The group wants the governor to reverse his indoor dining ban. They claim they have data that says it is safe, but Channel 11's Aaron Martin looked into it for us.
Closed to diners has become a new reality for restaurants throughout Pennsylvania, with the governor's order banning it indoors until at least the beginning of January. But the Pennsylvania Restaurant and Lodging Association wants them to take another look at that order, citing new data from a nearby state as to why it should be changed. In a news release, the association highlights a contact tracing study from New York State throughout the fall, which found less than 2% of COVID cases were spread in restaurants. The data showed nearly 3/4 of cases were spread during private gatherings. Getting accurate contact tracing information has been difficult in Pennsylvania, with less than 5% of people who tested positive last week telling investigators whether they visited a business.
The logical thing to do would be to come out and say, wow, we made a mistake in light of this new data. Let's get these people back to work. Let's use some of this millions of dollars worth of food that's sitting rotting in coolers now because there was no notice given before the shutdown. Let's get it out there and let's serve it while it's fresh.
In a statement, the governor's office said the mitigation steps are critical based on scientific data both locally and globally, adding, quote, multiple large-scale and respected studies point to restaurants as a significant driver of cases and fatalities. And while only a small number of people are answering the questions of case investigators here in Pennsylvania, those that did last week were asked if they visited a restaurant, and 50% said yes. That is one of the key factors that Pennsylvania officials have been pointing to as they make these decisions. Reporting on the north side, Aaron Martin, Channel 11 News.
A local restaurant is launching a new brand to try and stay afloat during the restaurant shutdown. The company that owns CityWorks in Market Square is adding a ghost kitchen for a new barbecue brand called Secret Sauce. Basically, they'll use the kitchen they already have to make more food for their other brand, but you'll never actually be able to dine in. The company says this will not only help them during the pandemic, but will help as the restaurant industry shifts. It could be the last year for the Christmas tree at Point State Park. Duquesne Lights sponsors that tree. The company plans to retire it, they say, to preserve the historic ground of Fort Duquesne, but there is a push to save the tree.
This has been probably one of the hardest years that Yinzers could have ever faced, all of us. And so to have this as a remembrance of the joy and during this time of year is so meaningful, and we want to experience that, and we want our kids and our grandkids and generations to come to experience the beauty that we have and the hope and joy that it's brought to all of us.
Pete Linko created an online petition to save the Tree of Lights. You can sign it by clicking on a link on the WPXI News app. Point State Park officials were worried about historical preservation, so they asked Duquesne Light to relocate the tree to a different area of the park. Duquesne Light sent us a statement saying that they have been actively exploring options with the park to keep the city bright during the holidays for years to come. The winter storm is a welcome sight for Seven Springs and Hidden Valley. Those ski resorts are expecting a busy weekend, and all season passes, tickets, and rentals can be purchased online in advance. Both resorts open Friday at noon, and they remain open daily. Go outside and make snow angels. That's what the Belle Vernon superintendent is telling kids today. All virtual classes ended at 11 this morning, so the kids can go out and play in the snow. The superintendent's letter to families said, let go of the stress and worry of school and make some special memories.
Your severe weather Team 11 forecast.
Hey, that's good advice for kids of all ages. Let go of the stress and worry and enjoy some snow. It's not all bad. Even though we do have some traffic issues, most of the snow has been light to steady and crews have been able to keep up. And what we're watching over the next 3 to 4 hour period are these bands of brighter white where snow could quickly accumulate faster than in some of the areas where the snow has been lighter. Pittsburgh still getting some lighter snowfall, traveling 79 north and south, 279 29 headed out the Turnpike. You will run through some mainly wet roads. Tricia Pittman, traffic expert, I called her a meteorologist, she could be, has been watching the roadways, and the concern east of the city later today will be on increasing amounts of snow along the Turnpike. So that's something we'll be watching for you. Bands of brighter white kind of spiraling northward, and what I've noticed in the last hour or so that we are starting to see a little bit of a mix in Uniontown, which may change your snow totals a bit. Jessica will talk about that in a moment, but for the big picture, we are looking at periods of snow with steadier snow later today. Icy spots likely, they're already happening, so just go with that as you head out the door. Snow bands will continue, and some of that mix you can see wedging into Uniontown will be in the area. Still some questions as to how far north and west that makes it. That will, of course, change your snow totals in those areas, but the backside of this system will start to move out sometime between 10 and midnight, and we still like the idea of a 3 to 5 inch snowfall for Beaver, headed into western Allegheny County, 4, maybe 5 inches. Then those numbers jump big time as you head to the east and into the ridges. With more on the city forecast for snowfall totals, meteorologist Jessica Faith. And Jessica, you've been watching this system all morning.
Yeah, I've been watching the system and looking at the latest data in the forecast models, and what I've noticed is a trimming back of snow totals, still a significant amount, but I want to show you the Pittsburgh area now looking at 4 to 7. Now here's the deal, just a 15-mile difference could put you at the lower end of that spectrum, around 4 inches, or even if you're on the higher end, around 7 inches. Just a 15-mile difference can make that much of a difference. Down in Washington, we actually had a viewer to email us saying that there has already been an inch of snow and predicting around 4 to 6 inches. I want to move farther toward the east here. My graphic will advance, and I want to talk about, I'm going to advance it manually. Here we go. I want to talk about Uniontown. I've also trimmed down these numbers. Here's why. I've been analyzing the entire column of the atmosphere and looking at some warm air aloft just a little bit, and that could be significant in trimming back those snow totals as well. That will be something to watch today, but right now for Uniontown, 4 to 7 inches and 4 to 7 inches in Greensburg, with much higher amounts the farther east you go in that county.
All right, Jessica, we'll keep an eye on those. They will continue to increase to the east. We know that for sure. Some of the questions around the city continue to be how high the totals will go as a result of some of that snow moving in, with a mix of sleet and possibly even some freezing rain the farther south you go. 32-degree temperature for the daytime today. We are pegged pretty much with our temperature. Cold overnight tonight, and there will be areas that refreeze, so watch for some slick spots tomorrow morning. Coming up at 12:45, I'm also looking at the potential for a little freezing drizzle tomorrow morning, and I'll let you know more about that as we work our way into the weekend, though. Things settle down nicely. 40 degrees back on Saturday. High temperature Sunday at 41 with a few showers.
All right, thank you guys. Santa and Mrs. Claus show up for a Christmas parade, but they have COVID-19, where dozens of families are now in quarantine. Plus, how a catering company with a similar name is trying to distance itself from a local restaurant known for breaking state COVID restrictions. A Freeport catering business is distancing itself from a controversial Brentwood restaurant with the same name. The catering company posted a statement on its Facebook page reading in part, "Attention to all it may concern. Here at Cracked Egg Catering Company, we have no affiliation with the Proud Boys nor the Cracked Egg drama. We also follow COVID guidelines. Thanks for all your continued support." The Cracked Egg in Brentwood made news over the last few days for staying open for dine-in service despite the governor's order. 2 Allegheny County Sheriff's deputies are also in quarantine and under investigation by their department after posing for a picture with the owner of that restaurant. Meantime, a Toys for Tots coordinator for Southern Allegheny County said Cracked Egg is using its logo illegally for a toy drive with the hate group, the Proud Boys, and that it does not support the collection and will not accept donations from it. Santa and Mrs. Claus got coronavirus in Georgia last week, and now families are getting a warning. Their kids may have been exposed to the virus during the Christmas parade that featured the couple. Officials say there were several city and county leaders at the event, along with about 150 adults and dozens of children. They don't believe they were in close proximity to Mr. and Mrs. Claus. Those who were in close contact have started to follow CDC guidelines to limit the spread.
Snow in the area now. We've got new timing on when the snow will move out and what you can expect tomorrow morning coming up.
Plus, no prescription, no problem. The new COVID test you'll be able to buy over the counter and get results for at home. we're back at 12:30 with a live look at Storm Tracker Doppler 11 radar. We are tracking a major winter storm. You see there widespread snow, and sadly, this is just the start of it. A live look from Channel 11's Tower Cam shows snow over the city of Pittsburgh. You can't even see the city out there. It's a light snow right now. And this is a look just a short time ago from Westmoreland County, where they could see up to 8 inches of snow. And you could see more snow depending on where you are. The heaviest snow is expected right at rush hour. That's not good. Let's go back to Pittsburgh's Chief Meteorologist, Stephen Cropper.
Yeah, Peggy, you're right. Getting steadier snowfall through the afternoon, and it'll come in bands similar to what we've already seen this morning. I do see, though, the bigger impacts as we head through the evening tonight as air temperatures continue to cool off. Generally looking at less snow to the northwest. In the center of our viewing area, looking at a general 4, maybe 7 inches across Allegheny County, 7 to 10 inches or more as you head into the higher elevations. So that is where the higher totals will come in because of the proximity to the storm. Coming up, we're breaking down the travel impacts from this storm. We'll let you know when they could be the biggest.
All right, thank you, Stephen. Our Team 11 coverage continues now with Channel 11's Aaron Martin. He joins us live downtown. Aaron, how's it looking there?
Well, Peggy, right now there is that snow falling, as Stephen mentioned just a moment ago. It hasn't been sticking on the roads just yet, but that is expected to change as we get through the day. Take a look at some video that was taken and put together by our editors of the Tower Cam showing this snowstorm moving through this morning. As you can see it beginning to really get moving as we see more and more snow. Now, what we're seeing right now is expected to continue for several hours, and I just had a conversation about 20 minutes ago with the city's Public Works Director, Mike Gable, who told me that they're preparing for one of the most significant snowstorms that we've seen in the city in at least the last couple of years. They have crews that have been out for the last couple of hours treating the roads, salting the roads, and they are equipped with snowplows as well, as they expect snow to begin sticking on the roads. As you mentioned, that could happen right around rush hour, but it's really going to be in those evening hours when the streets begin to clear, when they can get the most work done. One thing to keep in mind is the city is making it very clear they don't expect the roads to be clear by tonight. They're saying this is going to be something that will drag into tomorrow. It could be even later in the day tomorrow. Usually the recommendation is it takes about 24 hours after the snow has stopped for the city to get to all of the roads. They are asking people to be patient, be safe, and of course, stay home. And if you are working downtown, try to leave a little bit earlier today because it could get rather messy as we get further into the night. We're live downtown. Aaron Martin, Channel 11 News.
All right, thanks, Aaron. Yeah, rush hour could be tough. Our Team 11 coverage continues with Channel 11's Gabriella DeLuca. She's live with a look at conditions right now on the Turnpike, where, as you might have heard earlier, there's going to be restrictions for some drivers as this storm picks up. Gabriella?
Peggy, hi there. We are right near the entrance to the Turnpike in Hampton Township here, where snow is continuing to fall down, and you can see it is sticking to parking lots. It is sticking to the grassy areas where we are here, and also a little bit of the roads. This is Route 8, not far from the Turnpike. This doesn't look too bad right now. Some slushy spots. We did see a salt truck come by not too long ago, but some of those back roads like Middle Road, Wildwood, East Hardee's, those are a little bit more snow covered, but Route 8 right now not too bad. Another concern, though, as you said, is the Turnpike. Not too long ago, I spoke with a spokesperson with the Turnpike Commission. He told me all of those restrictions are from Breezewood East. So right now, all of the counties around the Pittsburgh area not seeing any restrictions like a slower driving speed and empty tractor trailers. We aren't seeing much of that, any of that right now. However, they are keeping an eye on this storm, and they will implement restrictions if they find it necessary. I'll be working on that story, trying to gather some information for Channel 11 News at 5 o'clock this evening, so I'll see you then. Reporting live in Hampton Township, Gabriella DeLuca, Channel 11 News.
All right, thanks for the update, Gabriella. Let's head back now to Channel 11's traffic expert, our Tricia Pittman. And Tricia, they're telling drivers slow down on the highways.
Absolutely. Not only do you want to slow down along the Pennsylvania Turnpike, as Gabriella was just telling us, but also now they've implemented a speed limit restriction on 79 and 70. So 79 down to 45 miles per hour from Bridgeville coming down south to the Greene County area where the West Virginia line is. And then if you're headed west on I-70 coming from the New Stanton area and Interstate 79 onto the West Virginia line out on the western border, there is also a speed limit restriction. So 45 miles per hour on portions of Interstate 79 and I-70. Now, earlier we were talking about what happens if you hit a patch of ice. A lot of people get nervous. They try to oversteer and overcorrect. Instead, hold on to that steering wheel. Take your foot off the gas. Do not hit the brake. You cannot stop on ice. You cannot start on ice. Wait until you are off of that patch of ice, and then you will be able to gently brake. So something to keep in mind. Don't panic. Easy for me to say. Still keeping an eye on that earlier accident along the Parkway East out here in the area of Penn Hills. You can see off to the side of the road. And again, we are seeing that snow cover on some of those on and off ramps, some of those elevated areas. So do use extra caution if you do have to head out onto the roadways. Keeping an eye on portions of the Pennsylvania Turnpike and along Interstate 79 here in the Kerwin Heights area. Still looks pretty decent, but again, just south of this from the Bridgeville rest stop down to the state line in Greene County, there is a restriction now, 45 miles per hour. Speed limit restriction also on I-70 as you come from Westmoreland County out toward the West Virginia state line beyond I-79. We'll continue to keep an eye on any incidents and accidents, report those for you, and we're going to talk about some of those winter weather preps as well coming up.
All right, we'll see you then. The post office is trying to avoid any major delays on holiday deliveries. This isn't helping. They started delivering mail early on Tuesday. They made extra deliveries last night. You can help today and tomorrow by keeping your porches and walkways clear. They're seeing a huge spike in packages due to the pandemic. FedEx is monitoring this storm closely. It has a contingency plan in place, but check your email for service alerts and keep an eye on your shipment status. If you haven't already, now's a pretty good time to download the WPXI News app. You can get alerts specific to your neighborhood as this weather changes. Inmates try to smuggle weed and chicken wings into a jail by hiding the contraband in footballs. How they were caught next. And Tom Cruise scolds film crew members for not following COVID rules. The big investment he made to keep the crew of the new Mission Impossible movie safe. Police confiscated drugs, guns, and cash during a raid in Newcastle that they have called Operation Naughty List. Officers from the DA's office, Newcastle, and Union Township made the bust. Officers found heroin and cocaine inside a home on Park Avenue. A murder suspect who was out on bond tried to smuggle marijuana, cell phones, and barbecued chicken wings into the South Mississippi Correctional Institution. The plan involved the inmate and others throwing 25 modified footballs that contained the contraband over the prison's razor fence. One pigskin that contained 7 pounds of chicken wings hit a sensor and quickly alerted correctional officers. They then tracked down the suspect using his electronic leg bracelet. The British tabloid The Sun has released an audio recording of Tom Cruise scolding film crew members over a breach of COVID-19 protocols. The expletive-laden reprimand was recorded in Britain on the set of Mission Impossible 7 after 2 crew members were standing within about 6 feet of one another. Cruise is heard on the audio tape threatening to fire them if they do it again. He also mentioned the jobs that depend on continued production and people losing their homes because they're out of work. The pandemic halted the film's production once in February and again in October. According to British media, Cruise paid nearly $700,000 out of his pocket for a ship to isolate cast and crew during production.
Snow in the area now. Snow continues through the afternoon. I just updated the totals for your area. I'll show you those coming up.
Your severe weather Team 11 forecast.
Well, the snow's been coming down since about 10 o'clock for most areas. Started in the south as expected and came in maybe an hour or so early. And what we continue to see are these bands of brighter white across Allegheny County, mainly a light snow at this point. But as you head to the south and especially to the southeast, we are starting to see the snow intensity pick up just a little bit. So as you're out and about this afternoon, if you're trying to get to the grocery store, Could be light with nothing on the road, and by the time you come out, there could be a coating or more with these bands continuing to spiral up. Center of the storm still well down to our south, and road temperatures are cold enough for any snow that falls to stick on untreated surfaces. Notice these numbers. This is our exclusive road temperature forecast and also the current road temperatures, and we're looking at most areas cold enough for that snow to stick, so that is going to be problematic in some of those heavier bands. In terms of the snow totals, they'll range, as we've been telling you, from less to the north and northwest on the left side of your screen to more to the south and to the southwest. Right across Pittsburgh, still ranging anywhere from 3 to 4 inches upwards to maybe 6, 7 inches on the high end. But as this system develops through the afternoon, we'll get a better handle on the ultimate totals. Just know there's enough there. You're going to have to shovel, sweep, scrape as you head out late tonight and into tomorrow morning. Talking about the road conditions and road temperatures, Tricia Pittman will be here in a moment with more, but Jessica Faith has been looking at some of the travel impacts and when they'll be the highest. Jessica?
Yeah, we've had many reports of accidents coming in due to today's winter weather, and our traffic expert Tricia Pittman will have more information on that in just a few moments, but I do want to reiterate that you can expect snowy and icy roadways. Also, I've reduced visibility as a high impact, and I'm going to show you why. The current visibility right now where you see less than a mile, this includes Pittsburgh with half a mile visibility, also Butler and Beaver. That's where the more moderate snowfall is falling down. Also in Somerset, farther toward the east. So we are watching moderate downpours of the snowfall impacting your travel, and that will continue into the afternoon hours. So definitely be careful. Again, many accidents have already been reported, so we are watching that as we go throughout the day. And more on the forecast, back to our chief meteorologist, Stephen Cropper.
Yeah, that's right, Jessica. As we go through the afternoon, that's when the issues will really start to ramp up. Take a look at this 5-day forecast. Tomorrow morning, I am looking at the opportunity for some freezing drizzle, so that could be an added factor for your commute. We'll have more on that as we head through the afternoon. And then as we work through the day on Saturday, we'll enjoy some sunshine and more clouds coming in for Sunday with a few rain showers.
And we do have a traffic alert now. They've added additional roads to the 45-mile-per-hour speed limit restriction. So originally it was Interstate 79 and I-70. Now they have added 28 portions of the Parkway East, Parkway West, Parkway North, and 579, which is Veterans Bridge, Crosstown Boulevard, connecting over toward the Liberty Bridge. Also, commercial vehicles can only use the right-hand lane, so do keep that in mind. They have not banned the commercial vehicles on the interstates in western Pennsylvania, but they can only use the right-hand lane, so not the left passing lane. Also getting reports of an accident here on the Parkway North in the area of Camp Horn Road. I'm not seeing anything from our PennDOT camera, but again, keep in mind, this is an elevated area. Bridges, overpasses, on and off ramps. The wind whips underneath. It cools the elevated road surface before the other road surface adjacent to that has ground cover underneath. So use extra caution and keep an eye out for any icy patches.
All right, thank you. Good advice. In other news, it won't be long before you're able to buy an at-home test kit for COVID over the counter and be able to get the results at home as well. Here's a look at the Illume COVID-19 home test. The FDA just gave it emergency approval, and it is the first of its kind. It is a nasal swab test that uses an analyzer that connects to your smartphone. You get the results in about 20 minutes. And the FDA says the rapid test is more than 90% accurate. Those kits should be ready by next month. Now here's local steals and deals, Lisa Robertson.
I have something today that's going to help get you organized, help clean up your house, and be popular with every member of your family. Wait, it's not the lottery. It's actually the MC Squares whiteboarding system. And I love this idea because I have to write things down or I forget. I write them down and I lose them. Do you do that? This is a system that is going to enable you to not write down things on paper and then throw it away, because how many millions of people are putting paper in a landfill every day for that? But to literally write it down, peel off the back, stick it where you want it, write what you want, erase when you want, write again. 2,000 times. How amazing is that? So you take the little backing off, and at first I thought, that's not going to stick to anything, but look at this. sticks, just like that. And it's not that sticky regular adhesive, so it's not going to damage something. This will stick to any shiny surface. How great is that? Now you can put them all up on your mirror and you can get your whole presentation in your head. You can put them on your computer screen. You can put them on the front of the file cabinets. Your kids can put these in their room and you're not going to have to worry about, oh no, don't stick tape to that, right? You don't have to worry about any of that. So I love the fact that this helps you get organized and you have all kinds of great options. So you have these great sticky notes, you have these lists, you have the whiteboard where you can do drawings, you can do notes, you can do lists, you have calendars, you have markers, you have the whiteboard cleaner, you have everything that you need to really be organized. You know what? Our homes were always crowded. Now we're working from home, the kids are going to school from home, and we're living at home. So that home has to be 3 times as efficient in the same amount of space. This is a great way to do it. Right now on localsteels.com, these are 35% off, and I guarantee if you are an artist or an organizer or a student or just somebody who loves great ideas for your home, you are gonna love the MC Squares whiteboarding system.
Ohio Township Police are sharing this video in the hope that you recognize the 2 young men you see there. These 2 are accused of vandalizing the township Christmas tree. The tree is located in the gazebo next to the township building, and it was hit last Friday. North Braddock is looking for a new mayor. Thomas Weil resigned at last night's council meeting. He said he was leaving because of personal reasons. Council members presented the mayor with a plaque and gifts for his service to the community. The Pittsburgh Public School Board is set to vote on next year's budget later today. The district asked the community for their opinions about the budget. They're trying to fill a $32 million deficit. The preliminary budget does not have a tax increase. The clock is ticking with only 9 more shopping days before Christmas. Walmart has posted deadlines for the last moments that shoppers can place online orders for both delivery or store pickup by Christmas. This Saturday at 2 p.m. is Walmart's deadline for free 2-day shipping on eligible items. And Monday is the deadline for free next-day delivery. If you'd like to pick up at the store, you need to place your order by December 23rd at 4 p.m. for in-store pickup on Christmas Eve. Buy now, pay later plans are booming. Services like Afterpay give you the option to break up purchases into installment payments without interest or fees. 44% of shoppers said the use of buy now, pay later is somewhat or very important in determining how much they spend during the holidays. Even more said they're concerned it will cause them to overspend, according to a recent survey by Cardify.ai. Christmas came early for some local families. Their layaways at Burlington were all paid off. We're talking more than $12,000 worth of presents, and the families had no idea their balances were being paid off. Who did it? It's all thanks to the nonprofit Pay Away the Layaway and Steeler Juju Smith Schuster. Families got the surprise at a drive-through event last night at the Burlington on McKnight Road. So nice. And one final look at Storm Tracker Doppler 11 radar tracking this major winter storm. Pittsburgh's chief meteorologist Stephen Cropper is keeping a close watch on the track of this storm. Join us at 4 o'clock this afternoon with Severe Weather Team 11 coverage. And look for updates throughout the day on our streaming apps. Just search WPXI on Apple TV, Roku, or Amazon Fire. Until then, have a great day. Stay safe out there.